You do not need to shoot with a man in this industry at all. Today I have some questions for you to ask yourself before joining OnlyFans. And these are questions that I wish I would have asked myself before joining. Hello, my beautiful divine feminines. I am Candy Divine, also known to some people on other platforms as Chai Latte, also known as Goddess Chai Latte, and welcome to Divine Femme Digital, where we support the feminine in the digital realm. I have been in the adult industry for over 10 years, online as well as off, and now I help other people with their businesses in and outside of the adult industry. So let's get right into it. I have my notes over here typed out. Question number 1. What are you really craving from this experience? Is it visibility, financial freedom, creative power, emotional validation, or is it something else? This helps you to decide if the adult space is aligned with your inner needs or masking another unmet desire. This industry, despite what the internet will tell you, is not for everyone. Now, I have seen why this question is important. I have seen so many girls come and go, all kinds of all types, and many come in for what they think is one reason. Some rise to success, or some don't get the success that they thought they were going to get because they assume, oh, the industry is easy. All I have to do is take my clothes off and get naked and want to fuck me, so that means that they want to pay me. No. No. Having sex and selling sex are two completely different things, as she held up 4 fingers. Two completely different things, and a lot of people do not understand the difference. Just because you have sex, just because you can get people to want to fuck you, or just because people want to fuck you, does not mean that they want to pay you for that fantasy or for that experience. Let's be real, let's be honest. So there are also some very big names in the industry, right, who have made so much money on OnlyFans and they crash and burn, or they do things like get tangled up with NBA players and then crash out and embarrass themselves on the internet. Now, some crash outs are intentional, and we'll go into how to alchemize negativity in your favor, because many people do it. Wink wink, drama YouTube channels. And some genuinely have unmet desires. Some need validation, and so they go into the adult industry, and that is a dangerous place to be, going into the adult industry needing validation and being insecure, because that's how you get taken advantage of. And this is not an industry that you want to go into and thinking, oh, it's victim blaming. Baby, it's sex. Sex is serious. People like to think that it's not serious, but it is serious. It's fun. But if you are in the wrong headspace, it can and will fuck you up. If you are not in the correct mindset, if you don't know who you are, knowing who you are is number 1, which is why it is dangerous for many to enter into this industry at 18 and 19 and 20 years old, because unless you have a solid foundation, maybe, you may do some things that you are not proud of, and it's not even about the money. It's about the validation. And so many women in the industry, either they leave out of the industry or they're in the industry and they have regrets because they did not know originally why they started in the industry. Some came in the industry for validation and stayed for the money. And then as they start talking about their experience, it's like, oh, I get it now. I see it. So you really want to be you really want to think about why you're getting into this industry, because in 2025 there are literally so many different ways to make money on the internet that does not involve taking your clothes off or having sex on the internet, where it lives forever. Because a lot of people don't know that the internet is forever, and they're shocked when their videos are still up and they can't get them taken down, or people keep re-uploading them. So you better think. Question number 2. How comfortable are you with navigating emotional exposure, judgment, or online vulnerability, especially from strangers? Now, this is critical for setting energetic boundaries and preparing your nervous system for high visibility platforms. Okay. Even content creators outside of the adult industry talk about how they were not prepared for the amount of attention and success that they got. Like you have to balance your nervous system. You have to make sure that you have different rituals in place. You know, making sure that you're okay. Getting up in the morning, if you are working from home, or if you do have a job, you have to have that somewhat of a balance. You are completely exposed when you get on that stage. And that stage is the internet, right? There are billions of people on the internet. You have the opportunity to be seen by billions of people. It rarely happens, because you see views. It's like 25 million views or whatever, or on TikTok, or like 250,000 views. But when you think of how many opportunities that of people that can see you, and then you get those numbers, and then you're sharing your life on the internet and your experiences and other things, and if you're in the adult industry, them other things, and people are not ready to be that exposed. They think that they can handle it, but to have all of those eyes on you, if you are not comfortable being vulnerable, posting on the internet for a living or at all, is not for you. Being an entertainer may not be for you. And if that is something that you want, thinking about how you're going to handle it if you get all of those eyes on you. Just think about it. How will your self-esteem react? Your level of self-esteem. How will your attitude be? Because some people are so uncomfortable with all eyes being on them and them not being able to control what people say about them, that they lash out, they freak out, they go off on people, they have a nasty attitude, or especially depending on what they're already going through in their life. And so that pretty much amplifies everything going on inside of them, and it can make pre-existing mental health conditions, as well as just attitudes and surfacing things that you haven't uncovered, it can make it worse. Like them kids on Love Island, a lot of them gonna need therapy, okay, after this show. A lot of them are their, what do you call it, their frontal lobes are developing in front of millions and millions of people. And some of them are getting it for the first time on live TV. So are you prepared for that? Are you prepared for people to make snide and nasty comments for the hell of it? Simply for the hell of it, literally. Some people will literally see you happy or making a living, or just having what they don't have, and will expose your shit. Screen record all of your videos just for the hell of it and post it because they feel like they can and should be able to. They don't like the fact that you put up something that not everybody can see, so they want to expose it. Just because. And that's also why I raised my price, because if you're going to expose my shit, you're going to pay a lot for it. And I ain't apologetic about it. You're going to pay a lot for it. So are you comfortable with being vulnerable and being seen by people who don't know you and probably will not like you? Think about it. Now this is, like I said, this also can extend to non-adult content creation or any public facing career that you will have or may have. There are a lot of careers that you can have now on the internet, especially with Pluto and Aquarius, that does not involve your face, including in the adult industry. Think about that as well. You can absolutely be 100% anonymous. That's how I started for 3 years. I was 100% anonymous. I made pretty good money from it too. Question number 3. Oh, and this actually has to do with what I just said. Do you currently have systems, rituals, or practices in place to regulate your energy, your emotions, and income flow on your own terms? Your answer will tell if you are entering this space from a place of empowerment or survival. I do not preach survival sex work. I don't even support it, not in 2025, because I literally have a whole list on divinefemmedigital.com of other things that you can do on the internet to make money. So there, once you have that information and you have the choice, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. The more information and knowledge that you have about something, the more options that you have, okay? So if you do decide to go into the adult industry and you are frazzled, you are stressed, you are overworking yourself. For example, I started out just by posting on Tumblr. I was posting my news, on Tumblr, videos and things like that. And then I went from doing that to posting on the hub and grew a quick following over there. Like, I think I had at my peak like 20,000 subscribers back in like 2016, 2017 or something like that. Yeah. And then I went into doing custom videos. That's originally how I started. Before I was on any clip sites, I did custom videos. And then I got on ConnectPal and then ManyVids and then OnlyFans, because OnlyFans is pretty new, like very new. In 2016 is when they got started. 2016 is when I joined the site because they were more updated than ConnectPal. But I used to do custom videos back to back to back to back. Sometimes I would do 5 a day, usually 10 to 20 minutes. And then I would also film for my clip sites, because I was on Clips for Sale, I was on I Want Clips, I was on like 10 different sites at the same time, posting multiple things. And I would work up to like 18 hours a day. Now the money was good, but the long-term effects, it wasn't worth it. I often got pinched nerves in my shoulder. Like if I don't stretch, I still feel just a little twinge. So I have to make sure that I keep up my yoga routine and my yoga flow and dancing and movement and stuff. I had a really bad, I guess you can call it addiction or dependency on caffeine. Chai latte. My whole brand is built around caffeine, but I would overdo it. I would do those dollar shots from like Dollar Tree or Family Dollar and stuff, not 5 Hour Energy, but the dollar ones, and they were $1. I would do like 1 or 2 of those. You're supposed to only drink like half or something. I would do 2 of those in a day, and then I graduated to like the Rockstar energy drinks and the Monsters and stuff. I had a problem. I have a problem, honey. And so that good money coming in constantly all the time, especially because I had already decided a regular job was not for me, So this, and I'm a very sensual person naturally, so this was a natural segue, right, for me. But I needed that money. I wanted that stability. I wanted that, I gotta be able to do this, and I want more and more and more and more. So I was making good money, but I did not already have rituals and things put in place for, or even a way to keep the constant income stream coming in without me needing to do too much. I hadn't quite figured out what was best for me to help direct traffic to my sites without me needing to constantly put out content. I'm gonna talk about this in a separate video, but if you have to constantly put out content to make money, especially in the adult industry, you don't know what you're doing in business. There are some femdoms who have been in the industry longer than I have, and they say, well, I have to constantly put out new videos. And I'm like, you've been in this industry almost 20 years and you still have to constantly put out new videos? You don't know how to run your business, and that's okay. You don't know how to keep that traffic flowing, and that's okay. Some of you you're just privileged. I'm like, yeah, I am privileged with the information on how to make my pre-existing content work for me, instead of having to work for my money. We're not doing that anymore, especially not feminines. We're not doing that anymore. No, that's dead. That's gone. So I had to regulate my energy. Also, I need at least 8 or 9 hours of sleep every day. Every day. Even if I sleep in 6 hours here and then take a nap in the middle of the day, I need 9 hours of sleep. That's when I wake up and I feel like, that song, Jill Scott, make me some breakfast toast, 2 scrambled grits. That me. That's when I feel like the most refreshed. That's when I feel so good without needing to overdo the caffeine. My body needed more rest. I also had to make sure that I was eating enough. If I don't eat enough when I'm active and filming and shooting and stuff, it's harder for me to go to sleep. It's the calories, the calorie intake. It needs to be high enough, especially with proteins and other things, so that my body is like, okay, I can go to sleep now. Because if I'm just eating a plant-based diet with fruits and vegetables all the time, and for me and being active, I need some heavier calorie dense foods to help my body level out. I also had to figure that out, listening to my body. What do you need? If I feel exhausted or frustrated when I'm editing or filming, I need to get up. I need to move my body. I need to stretch. I need to go outside and get some sun, get some nature, get some something. I need to give my mind a break. I've also seen so many, especially some models who, because fun fact, a lot of the top 1% on OnlyFans aren't doing any of the work themselves. They have whole teams and agencies behind them, quite a few of them. But people like Miss B Nasty and a few other ones, they absolutely are doing everything themselves. So you have to make sure that you have a healthy balance and a ritual so that you don't get burnt out. I can't remember. If I find it, I'll link it. But I believe there may have been a study or something that said that it can take up to 2 years to recover from burnout. That's a long time to feel those, what do you call it? To feel those effects. 2 years. And I'm a testament to that, because I'm just now getting my energy back from when I was filming Christmas content back in 2022. And I filmed heavy for like a month straight. And I made my own decorations. Like I made a whole chimney, a Christmas chimney and everything. Like, child, I was exhausted. It was fun. And I made a lot of money. But I was tired. Oh, I was so tired. I was so exhausted. I said, yeah, no, I'm gonna need help. Also accepting when you get to a certain point, still not feeling like you have to do it all yourself. You deserve help and assistance. Of course, it may take some time to find the right help and assistance, but you deserve that. You do. Especially Black women, we always tend to feel like we gotta do everything ourselves. Now, you deserve help and assistance. So when you get to a point where you can hire help, It don't have to be your, editing your content or anything, but it can even be posting on social media, posting on Reddit, or, maybe editing your safe for work videos for YouTube or TikTok or something. Get that help. Make it easier on yourself. Okay? All right. Question number whatever the fuck. Number 4. How do you define safety and power in your body? And are you willing to build rituals that reinforce both? How do you define safety and power in your body? The adult space can be empowering. It can be. Because it definitely helped me. It helped me, especially in my relationships with men. and how I interact with women who are male-centered and obsessed with relationships and marriage and things. It definitely helped me get a deeper understanding with that. It can be empowered if you are rooted in your own definition of safety and embodied authority. A lot of people, especially 18 to 23, 24, you're still trying to find yourself. Most of us, we know who we are when we are younger. A lot of us do. But society, our parents, teachers, classmates, people we interact with, the internet, they try to bully and push us in the opposite direction of who we actually are. So sometimes other people can chip away. And it's usually not all at once, but they can chip away at who we actually are and start to replace who we are with little bits and pieces of who they want us to be or who they think we should be. Not out of our best interest. Like, I see this as something you want, so you're going to have to change yourself to be that so you can receive that. But I don't like who you are, or who you are is different from how I am, so you need to change. So we can lose part of ourselves and not even realize that we are operating out of a space of power for ourselves, so we can learn to ignore our own intuition and that voice in our head that tells us, I don't like this ain't right, I don't like how that feels, I don't like what that site said, I don't like this, I don't like that. Child, when I tell you, I was one of the first to leave so many different sites when there were girls who was literally damn near branding themselves with the, we all go through that process, branding themselves with the websites and things, and I'm just like, yeah, they're doing some shicey shit, I don't like it. And they're like, oh, but they empower us. I'm like, we're independent contractors, honey. When you enter into the adult industry, when you sign up for sites like I Want Clips, ManyVids, OnlyFans, Fan, whatever the fuck, you are an independent contractor. You do not owe those sites anything other than what their terms of service says. You don't owe them loyalty, especially if you're not getting a bigger cut. And that goes for any industry. You don't have to defend them. You don't have to, and so many of us will go to bat for certain things even when it's against our best interests. If you do not know who you are, it makes you easier to be controlled, especially if you don't even realize it. Oh, the birdies are outside. A lot of times you don't even realize it. Who is really benefiting from you going so hard for these sites, for these different places or whatever, or even like certain decisions, is usually not you. Now, on the side of safety, you have to know what feels safe to you, okay? And that goes for a number of different things. If you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you like, what you dislike, what feels comfortable for you, if you don't know how to listen to that voice inside of your head or that feeling in the pit of your stomach that's like, that ick that you may get, and it doesn't even have to be anything extremely violated. It could literally just be something like, I didn't like that. I don't like that. It's okay to stand on that. So check in with yourself often. Is that something I want to do? Is that something that I like? I've seen some models do content. There's a few that popped in my head. I've seen some women do content, and I'm almost sure that a lot of times it's a man behind the camera or behind the scenes telling them what to do. And I'm like, did you really want to do this? Even if there's not a man behind the camera, somebody could have requested it. And a lot of girls don't know, a lot of women don't know, young women. Sometimes people will request things to humiliate you to see how far you will go for $8. Sometimes they absolutely will. They just want to see, will she do this? Because it's a control thing. You're being dominated without even really realizing that you're being dominated. So if you do not stand on business, that was a big topic for some femdoms. They didn't like that. When it was like, well, my fans want this content, so I put it out. I'm like, so that's my evil smile. Are you dominating your subs, or are your subs dominating you? Because you should be able to say what you will and will not post, and what you will and will not do. The amount of requests and different things, and I do fetish content and kink content. I've done it for years. Over 30 categories of it. The amount of requests that I have gotten that I was just like, yeah, nah. Which is crazy, because I've done some content. Really good money in that, but if you're not comfortable with it and you're solely doing it for the money, don't do it. There are other ways, other easier ways, and I have a list for that too. Very easy ways to get that money and that those funds. It also goes for shooting with people. If you are not comfortable, you do not need to shoot with a man in this industry at all. At all. In any capacity, you don't need to. So don't let anyone tell you that you do. If you are not comfortable with certain things, and I will also go into what you should require if you do shoot with someone. I'll have a section on the blog with that information on it, because that's imperative. The amount of horror stories I've heard and read and seen from people that were taken advantage of because they thought they had to shoot content with men. You don't need to. You don't need to shoot anything with a man. You don't even have to ever involve a man in your content. There are plenty of women who have been solo and have done very well. Hurricane Fury is one of them. She's been in this industry pretty sure 20 years now and has never ever filmed. I don't believe she's ever filmed with anyone, ever. I don't think so. And she's done amazing, like literally. So knowing what you are comfortable with and standing firm on that, no matter how good the money sounds, because you can there's always money coming. Even if you don't see it right now, there is always opportunities and ways to attract money to you without sacrificing who you are and selling your soul. Don't be desperate. If you are desperate, go to divinefemdigital.com, because I have blogs on other ways to make money in this industry that'll be a hell of a lot easier on your psyche and your body than doing desperate shit in the adult industry. Okay? I say that because I love you and I care about you. Fuck them. Next caller. Next question. Are you willing to treat this like a real business? With branding, structure, emotional labor, and long game strategy. A lot of people get into this industry and don't realize that this is an actual business. They think it's just, it can be something fun to do, because when I started it was just because I wanted to post it. But when you actually get into it and start making money, how you keep track of it, paying taxes, yes, you have to pay taxes. A lot of people don't realize it. if it goes through your bank and it comes from a site, you have a W-9. It's been a minute since I filled out one of those, because now I'm not on any sites, but it's a W-9, I believe, for adult industry. I mean, for independent contractors. I think so, yeah. Taxes and keeping track of what you spend and all of these things, and banking, and are you going to, if you have a unique name, can you copyright it or incorporate your business? The emotional labor you have to go through is talking to people. Sometimes people want it. Sometimes your fans want trauma done. Sometimes your fans want you to be a psychologist. Are you willing to create those boundaries? You know, are you willing to keep it like a client? Yes, it's a fantasy, but they're still clients. They're still clients. Okay? With branding, there's so many models who don't have branding, and they wonder why. And you don't have to be like cookie cutter branding, but they wonder why their business doesn't do really well. Some people have a natural branding. Whatever their persona is, that's their branding, and it works. And then some are kind of lost because they just don't know. And if they did a little bit of branding and a little bit of planning with their content, not only would it attract more of the right audience to them, the right audience, your audience, because you have your audience. Not OnlyFans audience, not the fan sites audience, yours. Those are the people that's going to be loyal to you and follow you wherever you go. I have plenty of supporters who do that. Hey, y'all. If they structure their business and their branding just a little bit and semi-planned out their content, it would not only, like I said, give structure and attract your own following, but people will also be excited to see exactly what it is that you have to come up with. It's a theme. Oh, I see what you're doing now. I see, like, for me, I can be an asshole, I can be a bitch. I'm more of a seductive, sensual, mother energy type of thing. I could cuss you out and be real dominated, or I could be very sweet and nurturing, more balance of in the middle. That's my branding, along with the coffee in the adult industry, and also as like a coffee shop, because I do the fetish content. I have like, what do you call it, a menu of different options that you can come, different types of drinks that you can blend and all that other good stuff. That's my brand. Okay. And the long game strategy, a lot of people want to get in the industry and make a lot of money and get out. Some people are having issues with that because sometimes it takes a little bit longer to be able to make that money for you to be able to get out. If you do not have the funds to be able to pay for promo, which a lot of the big people with big followings, that's what they did. They paid for promo. That's pretty much what they did. People say, how did they build that following? They paid for promo. A lot of it was not organic, and that's okay, because even in multiple other industries, as you see on X and TikTok, and promote this and promote that, and all the ads on Facebook and YouTube, we're moving into it takes money to make money. You got to pay to play type of situation, and that's all right. That actually gives you more opportunity to make even more money. Don't think of it as a negative. Think of it as an investment in yourself. Especially if your content is good. And it doesn't have to be like super high quality. But if it's good and people can tell that you are into whatever it is that you're making, and you're not just haphazardly doing it, because the ones who will pay good money, the ones who are collectors of the adult work, they can tell when you're half-assing it. Now the ones who just want to and will pay $5 or $10 here and there, they don't care. But those are also the ones that are usually going to burn you out. Those are also the ones that's going to put a quarter in and expect a kink machine. Those are not the ones that you want. Now, some people can do a low entry price and a high amount of followers or whatever, but we'll get into that later on. It's a real business, and so many people get into it thinking, oh, I could just be horny and film, or I want to shoot with people because I want to fuck them. Like, you still need to think of it as a business. And if you don't, that's how a lot of people get in trouble. That's how you have a lot of scandals and a lot of, fucked up situations and things, because people operate in the adult industry like they operate in their dating life and their sex life. Mess and messy. No, we don't do that. That's immature and it's childish. Nah, grow up. And last but not least, in the next question, when you imagine yourself in the future, imagine your future self, wealthy, powerful, fully expressed, what role, if any, does sensual visibility play in your empire? Think about it for a second. This question helps you to code whether sensual performance is a stepping stone, a main channel, or simply an activation for something bigger. Let the vision guide the strategy. Now, sensuality, it's not just sexual or vulgar. I'm going to make a video on my Goddess Divine 666 channel about sensuality and how you can live a sensual life every single day. From how you put on your makeup to how you do your daily routine. It can be flowy like art. And it can rejuvenate you and revitalize you and make your life more pleasurable. It also helps us lead more loving, creative, happy, pleasurable lives, which is so important, especially for the feminine, because there's so many of us who are angry, overworked, exhausted, because society has forced us to work and act like men. And obviously with so many stressed out women, for a lot of us that ain't natural. When I first started in this industry, and even a little bit afterward, I believe I had a mindset that anybody could thrive in this industry. Until I saw just how quickly it chewed up and spit out many, many, many young women in this industry. Some of them ended up in way worse situations, like they came in as survival S workers, and they left in a worse situation than what they would have been if they would have, I don't know, washed cars or something. Yes, I don't know, anything other than that. It's people, because of trauma, because of Christianity and all that other bullshit, virgin culture, people stop taking sex seriously. And you can tell the ones who don't. You can see how they move. That's okay. We blame society and misogyny for that, and the patriarchy, okay? If you do not have a strong sense of self, if you do not know who you are, which many young people and some older people don't, if you go into this industry without a solid reason outside of survival, you can end up off worse than when you started. Like I said, I've been in this industry over 10 years. And it did help me grow. It helped me solidify exactly who the fuck I am. Because, yeah, I'm her. But a lot of people, for a lot of women and film creators, sometimes it took stuff from them. Sometimes it aggravated whatever insecurities or whatever bad decisions they was making in their personal life. Now they're making it in front of thousands of followers, and they're naked and being sexual doing it too. I've seen it happen many times. This industry will force you to grow in ways that no other industry can, especially if you are more feminine, leaning, and was raised to bend over for men in the patriarchy. If you don't have healthy boundaries, you will either fold to the outrageous and often stupid and humiliating requests and desires of your customers for $1, or you'll put boundaries in place quick, fast. So those are some questions and a little bit of my experience of what to ask yourself before you enter the adult industry, or even if you're in it. Sometimes you may want to sit back and think and reflect, because you do that often. That's a part of a ritual. Am I still happy with this? Is this something I still want to do? Do I need to take a break? I'll tell my story about how I took a break from the industry because I didn't think I wanted to do it. But come to find out, I was done with clip sites and OnlyFans and all that other bullshit. I was feeling constricted and controlled and censored, and I couldn't be my free, sensual, sexual self with those restrictions, and I couldn't give my supporters what I enjoyed giving them with that restriction. So I needed to do things my own way. Now I sell direct. I sell using crypto. I also have a wish list that my supporters buy from that's not on Throne. I built my own, and I will be showing you exactly how to do that as well. And I am so much happier than being on sites. Sites were a way to assist when I had no other way, really, because we were losing our PayPals and our Cash Apps and everything else like that. But now we have other options, you know? And I love that for us. So, did this video help you? I know it was long, but I mean, if you couldn't sit through this video, you probably shouldn't be going into the adult industry anyway. I'm being honest. For which question, kind of gave you oh, I didn't think about that type of situation. I know, I wish I had these questions beforehand. I probably wouldn't have used them. And that probably would have been me in the ass. But these are some things that I had to think about. These are some ways that I had to reshape my business, my persona, my life inside and outside of the industry. I hope they help someone. If you have any questions, leave them down in the description, in the comment section. And check out Divine Film Digital for a few articles. I will be adding more on how to navigate in the adult industry, especially now with all the changes, with things going on in the world, how to get the most out of it, along with other things outside of the adult industry. I love everything having to do with tech and how the world is evolving, so I will be putting out resources and everything directly on divinefilmdigital.com. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye. I just knocked that video out. I put it's just one color, the light blue. And then I blended it out. I like it, it's really cute. Okay, this wig is itchy because I don't have a wig cap on. I just tossed this on because I was bald today. Oof.